Caribbean American News Network, the news you report. Let's get to work with the one and only Garfield Oliver, the most loved on Facebook. Tag a friend, tag a hack, share the page.
That's a very good question. But what I like, that's a very good question. But what I like the best is how we intend to address it. Attending to address it is not in my, it's not in my past the stage where I intended when I can address it. But it's up to, in the season that we live in, you can't even have a joke because some talk show hosts may be on my case if I make a joke with you. You understand? So I prefer not to see how it should be. But
okay.
Behind the scenes, I know all that pretense about crime and who's pushing crime. I know what's happening behind the scene. What's happening behind the scene? I know. I also have something to say. I won't say it now about the crime in St. Lucia. I'll say that at some point, and you all may have to deal with me because I know what's happening behind the scenes. I know all that pretense about crime and who's pushing crime. I know what's happening behind the scene. What's happening behind the scene? I know. I also have something to say. I won't say it now about the crime in St. Lucia. I'll say that at some point, and you all may have to deal with me because I know what's happening behind the scenes. I know all that pretense about crime and who's pushing crime. I know what's happening behind the scene. What's happening behind the scene? I know. I also have something to say. I won't say it now about the crime in St. Lucia. I'll say that at some point, and you all may have to deal with me because I know what's happening behind the scenes. I know all that pretense about crime and who's pushing crime. I know what's happening behind the scene. What's happening behind the scene? I know.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media. Let's get to work.
I'm here to help.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media, with me Garfield Oliver, the news you report. Let's get to work.
Caribbean American News Media, your Tuesday night power hour. Live every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and GVV TV channel 115. Join your host, Garfield Oliver, as he dives deep into the latest inclusion developments, regional affairs, and global issues that matter to you. From politics to the economy, community stories to international headlines, we cover it all with real talk and real insights. Stay informed, get the facts, be part of the conversation. Don't miss out. Set your reminders, share with your friends, and tune in. Caribbean American News Media, the news you report. Caribbean.
All right, greetings to all. Welcome to yet another Caribbean American News Media platform. Yes, my friends, it is the news that you report. Special good night to those of you who are viewing us through our Facebook channel over there on Caribbean American News Media. And also those of you who are viewing via our YouTube channel along the other platforms. We want to take this opportunity to welcome you to another Sound the Alarm sorry, not Sound the Alarm, but another Caribbean American News broadcast, the news you report. And this is my opinion, of course, on what is happening in the news. So I want you to share the live and tag a friend, of course. Don't just come in and view it. You got to come in and share let the folks know that we are on, all right? And I really appreciate, as I said, every time I get onto the platform, I always look forward to acknowledging our valued supporters of the platform. Those of you who partner with us, when I say partner, those of you who are always on once the light is on or the signal goes up into cyberspace. You're always ready to view us. You do not judge and say a lot of things like some people do. I really appreciate that, especially those of you who don't say Maflabo Ekmasa. Thank you so much for your faithfulness, your on foolish ways, your wise ways, as we stick together. We have a world in crisis. We have a nation in crisis, and it is very important that we have men and women with steel backbone, men who will not bend or bow. Yo kai plié, mais yo pa kai cassé. An old lady in Denver used to say to me, she used to say, pile pa cassé. And she used to say to me, Chibe wet pamoli. And so I remember those sayings and I keep them, you know. And with my upbringing as a Christian, I learned to stay the course and stick to itiveness and faithfulness to what you're convicted about, what you're convinced about, what you know is the real McCoy. In other words, once you are convinced, you're convicted, and you know what you know, then you want to continue. Once it is good, equitable, fair to all, then you want to stay the course. And so I am just that. As I would always say to you, there are two things that I am. One, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist Christian believer. I have an unswaying support for the Seventh-day Adventist Church because I was brought up in that. From a little boy, the very first Seventh-day Adventist Church that came to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, my grandmother joined that movement. We brought over the Church of England. It was at the time there in Kingstown. You know, it's a historical building. It is still there, and it is the property of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So the other thing that I am is an NDP, New Democratic Party there in St. Vincent. The Dr. Friday administration. That's the party of my family. In St. Lucia, the United Workers' Party has been and always will be the party of choice for myself and my family. And even my new family, my wife, my daughter, that's what they are. If you check the house here, my wife has parts of the sitting room in yellow. They buy yellow dresses and everything else because they feel the flobble heat. And even though we lost at the election, they were concerned. They were like panicking and stuff. He's down there, blah, blah, blah. And, I say, I'm okay by the grace of God. Fears of the enemy, fears of the devil. So there's some history, even with my stepfather, John Compton, the family, they were very close to the family there in Dennery. And everybody who knows our family in Dennery know exactly who we are and what we are, Seventh-day Adventists and the Flower Board. And we can do both at the same time. I met a gentleman at, I went to do some business at the hospital at Kings County, not for myself, for someone. And I met a St. Lucian who knows me well. I'm not going to call his name in respect to him. And he said to me, you cannot serve two masters. And I looked at him and I asked him, my question to him was, who are the two masters are you talking about? The last time I checked, I'm a Christian. I serve one master, and that is the creator of the heavens and the earth. I don't know of any two masters. And they say, oh, politics. And I was shocked. I'm like, politics? Who is serving politics as a master? Who is committing such corruption in the Christian community to say that you're serving God, but yet you're worshiping the God of heaven, but yet you are worshiping politics? Those are idols. The Bible says, thou shalt have no other God before me. And as I looked at him, my response to him was, I'm a little bit confused, but I serve one master, and that is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the creator of the heavens and the earth. Not an atheist, I'm not from the satanic movement. Nope, no way. I'm not in any cult, in any groups that worship anything else. And I was thinking quickly, at the moment, and as I got into the elevator, I began to think that a lot of people are still in the dark ages, and they believe that once you are discussing political matters, or you align yourself with a political party, then you are not a Christian. And I balance that in my mind, and I'm like, okay, so if I go to the work, to the job, then I might be serving a master. If I go to a birthday celebration, that might be a master. And I'm like, it's all about, again, the mind, the growing and maturing in a fast-moving world, and to say that because I am petitioning, and these are the folks who forget about Martin Luther, who was a Christian, who stood up for black people, Martin Luther Jr., as I said, most of the black champions, those who stood up and fought for the rights of black people, were all Christians. Do I judge them because they worship on Sunday or on Saturday? They say to themselves that they're Christians. And for me to say that they are not Christians because they are fighting for the freedoms of all black people, while the church organization itself is on cold ice, whispering, encouraging separation, racism, and division, those individual preachers stood up and fought the government, and they fought systems so that we can have freedoms today. And these are the same black people who were talking about Black Lives Matters and who give you that privilege? Who fought for those rights, those inalienable rights? It is the same Christians, not the atheists. And while there were a lot more Christians using Christianity to enslave people, and not only to enslave them physically, mentally, to keep, and up to today we have religious organizations who are mentally mashing up people. Now I use a word there, that's not a real thing, you know. But they are decapitating people mentally. Saying to them, you cannot have life insurance, you cannot accept blood if you're sick or you're in a desperate situation where you must have blood to save your life. And I've known of individuals because of their religious organization who have allowed their kids to lose their life because of not wanting to have blood transfusion, because somebody gave them some idea that blood, if you take blood, you can't go to heaven. And there are some who say, well, you can't help the poor on the Sabbath, on Saturday, you go to hell, you can't, and we are enslaving and holding back. And some of these religious houses too say to you, well, you can't talk politics, or you can't become a good prime minister as a Christian, you can't become a good police commissioner, you cannot. I have people who say we can't join the police force. I have Christians, even in my own religion, who says you can't join the police force because it's evil. So if all the Christians would refrain from being a police law enforcement officer, being a lawyer, being a politician, what in the world is going to happen to our nations? And the Bible says when spiritual people lead, when the righteous rule, the people are glad. And when the wicked rule, they bring sin condemnation on the nation. So I got really confused that people are not reading for themselves. That is our problem. We're not informing ourselves. We're not educating ourselves. And so we start saying things that makes absolutely no sense to the learned, and sometimes even to the unlearned. We walk around acting like I really don't know what to say. And we burden ourselves over people. Who is not a Christian? Who is that? And the sad thing too among the politicians and their supporters, when Christians come forward for one party, the other one curse them off and say they're not Christian. When in their party now, Christians come forward to serve, then everybody's quiet and says nothing because we have like 10 Christians in our camp. If they're on the other side, then they're no good. But if they're on my side, they're good. And that's the confusion and conundrum that we face in our society. A generation that while we're advancing with technology and advancing with wisdom, it seems to me that we are still way off from reasoning for ourselves. And that's why people bamboozle you. People can move you. People can fool you. They can rob you. I know of people who give their credit card to scammers. Huh? You give their credit card to scammers. Just by the scammer being on the phone, you know. Telling them a whole lot of foolishness that should have sent up a red flag for them. But because they are so backwards in their thoughts, they give their credit card, they give information to the scammers, and by the time you know it, they're somewhere in, like the Catholic would say, in purgatory or limbo or somewhere over the rainbow. So I'm just saying, friends, that's not my rant, of course, but we're not ranting long tonight. We have some business to take care of. We have the vendors to discuss and GPH and those things that we're going to have a discussion, a very honest and open discussion on. All right. There are some issues at the St. Lucia house here in the United States, and maybe we'll want to just have a conversation for a minute too on that. But I can't keep up with all that is happening, friends. I honestly cannot keep up anymore. There's so much going wrong in our world. The world, my friend, is in chaos, in crisis. And only he who has spiritual eyes to see will understand where we are. But the regular individual who all they do is drink rum and cuss and party and cuss and gossip and say foolishness, they don't understand. The time's past them. And it's only when they get themselves at a position where they're on their backs and they got to look up or look across, then they realize, oh my God, this is life. What is happening here? But we got to be intentional in our living. We have too many people who are just living vikey-vike. They're not living meaningful lives because they are hooked on stuff. They're being fooled by people who should not be able to fool them. When you look at the people who are fooling some of the fools, you know, it's a fool leading the fool and the fool plus the fool. I don't even know what to say. But let me share with you this before we move on. Share the life, folks, tag a friend. Proverbs 19 and verse 1. I've given you words of wisdom, and then we're going to get to work. I'm going to greet you. 19 verse 1 says, that's Proverbs, all right? Better is the poor that walketh in his integrity than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool. So sometimes the fool themselves to tell the fool tell himself that he is wise with his lips. But the fool don't even know that the fool is a fool. Don't come for me. But I'm not saying this. Better is the poor that walketh in his integrity. Keep your integrity and have your plywood house. Keep your integrity and keep your little $5 in your pocket. Don't let politicians and people fool you that easy. Keep your integrity. Don't look like a fool at the end. When the fool get fooled and the fool get jammed, the fool realized that the fool only had a lot of talk. So the fool deceives its own self, and then when some other fool mislead and bamboozle the fool, then the fool is exposed to its own folly, and the fool still sometimes don't realize that the fool was fooled by a fool, and the fool is still a fool because it's either the fool is worse off than the fool was before the fool got fooled by the fool, and that's how the world turns. A whole lot of fools with a lot of words with no integrity. The worst thing is a fool without integrity. And verse 2 says also that the soul be without knowledge. It is not good. And he that hasteth with his foot sinneth. The foolishness of man perverteth his way, and his heart fretteth against the Lord. So the fool get fooled by the fool, and then the fool don't know what to do. The fool turn and the fool say that there is no God. And that's why the Bible says that the fool have said in his heart that there is no God. I ain't no fool tonight, and no fool is going to fool me. Anyway, let's get off of this foolish thing, foolish talk, or fool talk. But that one was hard, I'm sorry. Don't come for me, folks. I just read the Bible there. You know, the Bible also says, the same wise man says that the fool is known by his many words or her many words. And I can tell you, most scammers are fools. Most scammers, a whole lot of words, but says nothing, but yet the scammer can fool a fool. That's why the scammers, once they realize that you're onto them, they're gone because they realize you ain't no fool. And sadly, we have a whole lot of politicians who can be very foolish in their ways. And based on what the Bible is saying, they can be considered to be fools themselves. Because to fool a poor person or to misguide a poor person, that's a foolish move. And it lacks integrity. And that's why be careful with politicians. On either side, be careful what politicians say to you. Don't put your trust in politicians. They will fool you and you become a fool. And sometimes you exceed them. You become a bigger fool than them. Because you either have to go on television, you either have to go on radio, you either have to go on newspaper to make yourself look like a bigger fool in front of the public. Because with the writings on the wall and you can't see. You're listening to words, empty words. Even in religion too. Even in religion, you hear some foolishness and you don't. For instance, they say to you, you can't have life insurance, you can't take blood, you can't vote, you can't become a police officer, you can't become a governor general, you can't become a president because you're a Christian. And you swallow that and you hold yourself back from doing something meaningful in your society. It is only when we have, and I'm not saying all Christians are wise, That's not what I'm saying here. I'm not saying all church people, church goers are wise and they're not foolish themselves. Because there are a whole lot of them who are foolish too. Because many of us forget that we got to live down here. And when they bring the high taxes in our tail and there's no proper health insurance, we go in our homes and groan. And we praying to God. When you had opportunities to make a difference in your society, to stand up for the widow and the orphan and the poor, you had opportunities to make the difference, but you were a Christian fool. You had opportunities to save money. You have had opportunities to better the lives of your children. Instead of trying to build up your children, you take all your monies and your lands and properties and you give it to the church and leave your kids begging sometimes on the street or being taken advantage of by people. It is only an unwise person will take all their possession and give it to a church while they have their children and grandchildren and say, oh, Jesus is coming tomorrow. You got to live down here. The Bible says, occupy until he comes. And occupy means that you got to make provisions to live down here until he comes. Hello? Anyway. Let's get to work, folks. Let me say to Lydia Francis, greetings to you, my friend. Greetings, yes. And Hillary Cohen. Greetings to you, my friend. And I do agree with you. We're living in the end of age, in the end of time. And that's a fact. You look what is happening around us, what is unfolding around us, friends. And I'm telling you, perilous times is upon us. If you think that we have problems, you just wait, my friends. Sasho, Sakafet, greetings to you. Yes, and my friend Norez. Norez, Mawaka party, eh? And Jean Friends, good, greetings to you. Flora, greetings, yes. Peace to you also. Yes, greetings. Yes. Fluffelus, greetings. Mary. You know what? I can't greet all of you because of time, all right? So my people over there on our YouTube channel, greetings. I don't see your chat as yet. Maybe it will pop up soon. Let me just have a look over there to ensure that let me put up the live chat. Yes. So let's see whether it's going to pop up in the next few minutes. Our YouTube, we can't see it. All right. Good. Okay. So, boy, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. But I can tell you that we have a crime problem, especially in St. Lucia. I know what you're going to say. Oh, there's a crime problem everywhere. Well, I'm speaking about a specific country. A specific country. So let's not mix things up. Remember, we're supposed to be wise. All right. So we have an issue, and I realize a number of our young men, we are losing our young men. And yes, not only in St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the United States, and a lot of these other countries, we are losing our brothers. And while some of them are not good brothers, because a good brother will not take up a gun against another brother. A good brother will not rob the neighbor or get themselves caught up into criminal activities. A good brother would not do that, and that's a fact. And I understand families saying, well, this was a good boy, this was a good girl. But if we dig into the reality, you'd realize that some individuals have done some very bad things to people. And the chicken comes home to roost, but we don't want that type of this kind of justice. There's a justice system. While broken, there is still hope in our justice system. Governments have been going at it to better it over the years. It has not moved a lot, but we still have a justice system. And for men to be like turning our nation into the wild, wild west, and the wild, wild west is not even wild like it used to be, with gunslingers behind every cactus tree. While you don't have cactus tree or trees in your nation, it seems that a whole lot of shooting is taking place in the nation. People are just like sitting ducks. You don't know who and where is next. It's like a pop-up shop. It pops up wherever it wants to pop. And we lose sometimes innocent people in the mess. But I want to talk to you about the GPH deal. We spoke about the GPH deal, and for those of you who are coming in, we're looking at St. Lucia now. We spoke about the GPH deal, and the opposition United Workers' Party sounded the alarm for maybe 4 years or 3 years on the GPH deal. And I remember the United Workers' Party saying, look, let's be transparent about this. What is the deal? What's in the deal? Tell us about the deal. I remember Emma Hippolyte in Soufrière saying that we had a secret talk and we have a secret deal for Soufrière. And everybody kept saying, what is the deal? What's in the deal? Castries was the same. We found out that the Vendars arcade there in Castries was part of the GPH deal agreement. That they would repair it, they would change the landscape there and give the Castries Basin a well-needed facelift. And we were saying, well, can the SLASPA do that? Do we have to lease the port for all these years? Can we not allow SLASPA, give them the resource or give them the support and let them develop the waterfront area? Can we not do that locally? And you remember those things. We remember those discussions. And what we had was a lot of distraction and not reality, dealing with the reality. A lot of distraction. Shasta is a white man, this one is a dog, this one blah, this one blue, this one pink, and the problem was still there. And I keep saying to you folks that no matter how you insult people, we got to still face these challenges. Huh? No matter what you say and how you curse off and declasse yourself, we will have to at some point face the reality of some of those deals that we're getting into. We will have to face the issues that are brought up. And not because somebody's the opposition or not in government, a UWP senator or opposition leader, that it means that they do not make sense, that there's nothing that you can listen to and help to improve on whatever policies or deals that you're getting into. Any good government, whether it's the SLP or UWP, should be able to listen to opposition, listen to dissenting voice. It helps you to build a better product. The problem that we get ourselves in is when we get so deeply political, important matters get brushed over. We always say common events cast their shadows. And we pretend that there is no shadow of anything on the horizon, and we just full steam ahead. So governments need to really start paying attention, real attention, not the games that we are listening government. No, reality, listening to the people. And the people are not just SLP, the people are also UWPs, independent, people who don't just not in your business. So GPH deal was a big discussion. The port, the arcade, the Vendars arcade there in Castries in the main city was in the discussion. So what we heard is that we had discussing our representative, GPH, we are discussing with the Vendors Association, APA, what's his name, APA or IPA, one of them, who's the vendor, the president of the association. We had discussions. At some point he was showing concern, and then he went quiet, and you were hearing nothing after that, and he was, and I have nothing against the man. This is reality. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes we miss the reality with all the drama and personal stuff. But APA went quiet at some point. And I remember he said, well, we spoke and it sounds good. And yes, the people spoke to us and we're going to get this and everything is going to be fine. But nowhere in the media did we hear the president of the Vendors Association saying to us, here is a list of the deal, the proposal for the vendors. You were hearing piece of stuff and then went completely quiet. And while the opposition was shouting from the mountaintop, there might be a problem. Or there is a problem. One, we don't know the deal. We're hearing rumors. Then we had last Thursday the Minister of, I think, local government, Mr. Frederick, and the representative for the Castries Basin came across very angry at vendors at the time, saying, you guys are talking and you guys are in rats and in cockroaches over there and you guys a dilapidated, messed up place and you guys are anti-progress and some of you are not paying your rent over 5 years, and don't make me talk. If you all make me talk, I'll put your business out, basically. And don't say that you vote for me because I wasn't in the booth. I don't know if you vote for me, so don't pull that one on me either. Right? Those were his words. And if what Mr. Fitzpatrick is saying is true, that some of you vendors have not been paying your $130-something a month, then that's a problem. This one is a real problem, and I will give him that. If he's saying, and he's right, that you guys are not paying your agreement, then you are wrong for that. Because you cannot be in somebody's shop or in some shop that is not yours, or business or premises that is not yours, and you are supposed to pay $100 and something and you're not paying it, but yet you want a sweetheart deal, then something is wrong there. One, you're not paying your obligation. I am building a new property, and you want to go in with that 5-year owing of $130 monthly. I understand that. And if this is the case that vendors at the arcade cannot afford $130 or $30-something a month for the past 5 years, it means that the monies are not flowing in the country. Two things could happen here. Either the monies are not flowing in the country to the vendors, all the tourists that we're boasting coming into the country, it is not trickling down to the vendors' arcade. Or it could mean that the vendors are just irresponsible. And if they are irresponsible, then they should not be in such a facility. I agree with that. If you cannot afford it, then you should downgrade, scale down your business, or go into something else because you are just not making it. If you're irresponsible, if you are seriously not feeling the trickle down from all the boasting that this is the best year, carnival and jazz and everything else, and you are not making something from it, you're not getting a piece of that pie, then we have another problem on our hand. So we have two scenarios here. One, we have careless vendors who are not responsible. And if you can't be responsible in little things, then you cannot be responsible in big things. And that's a fact. And there are too many St. Lucians who are doing this foolishness. You are going into people's place to rent and you're not paying. And then you're being wrong and strong on it. Two, you're renting people's home and you're not paying, you're breaking things, you're bad-mouthing the people, and you're owing them rent. That got to stop. Huh? You go into the bank, you're taking loans and you're hiding. You go into courts and you're taking their stuff, and when you see the court's vehicle come to repossess, you're locking your door, you're hiding inside. And most of the times, not that you cannot afford it, it's just that your priorities are wrong. Because you're the same people sometimes who are buying expensive carnival costumes, jumping up all over the place. You are the same people who are going to the opium and spending all your money at the opium to tell you foolishness. But you're not focusing on the things that matters to you most, which is your rent. If you have a business and your business is your livelihood, your responsibility is one to ensure that you take care of your rent. Some of you have new pieces of hair in your head. Every week is a new grain of hair. Every week is some new frack. Every week you're traveling, you this and that, you're boasting, you have new shoe. Every week, but you're not paying your responsibility. You always have a joint in your mouth. You always have some bottle in your hand. If you add up the amount of drinks some of you are drinking, you can pay your rent, you can pay your mortgage, you can take care of your responsibility. But your priorities is messed up. Huh? Your priorities is messed up. And I'm just speaking to those who are irresponsible. And not all vendors are. There are those who are meeting their responsibilities. They're cutting, they're ensuring that they take care of their rent, their rental responsibility. And even though sometimes they go home with little, they still ensure that their rent is paid. So there's a whole lot of scenarios there, but I do not agree with the minister to go on the air and be doing this. The person is, people are already down, they're already not paying. Of course, there's a professional way to do that, but not to shout them down and say you'll expose them. And I know the frustration sometimes is that people are wrong and strong. You're not paying, but yet you want to talk, and you want to talk the loudest. Huh? If you're not paying, you can't talk the loudest. Huh? The other problem we have, and I'm going to play some tapes. The other problem we have, folks, is the rat infestation and the cockroach infestation in the Castries Basin. I know the city is always a place where you will have rodents, you will have cockroaches. But it is the responsibility also of the people who are responsible for the arcade, who are collecting those fees, those same fees that the people are owing. Whoever agency, whether it's the Castries City Council, has a responsibility to ensure that there is no rats and cockroaches in the place. They are to ensure that the vendors keep the area clean. They are to ensure that we have the pest control people coming in every month to set traps and to do stuff to ensure that on a weekend when the vendors leave, they can go in and fumigate and to set traps and to help to control the rodents and the cockroaches. I saw a picture with cockroach in somebody's food thing where they display, where they have their burgers, and the cockroach is part of the burger. You understand the neglect when it comes to maintenance of our properties, right? Good. So both the government and the vendors have their role in this fiasco. So now we have GPH, the vendors, and the government. So we have the government saying on air that I will expose you. And I'm not even sure why City Council allowed people to go 5 years without paying. I don't know what that was. Lack of management, lack of enforcement, lack of everything over there. What are you guys doing over there at the Castries City Council? That 5 years you allow this build up. Huh? Okay. So we have let me see if I can put it up. We have a report from, I believe it is DBS. Let us pull that report from DBS into our system, and I believe it's Amanda King is reporting on this drama over there. Listen.
Uncertainty is growing among vendors at the Castries Vendors Arcade as demolition plans move ahead for the long-anticipated redevelopment project expected to transform the facility by October 2026. While authorities have promoted the initiative as a modernization effort aimed at improving conditions for vendors and visitors alike, several vendors say the transition period is already creating anxiety over income, relocation, and survival. The redevelopment being undertaken by St. Lucia Cruise Port and the Castries Constituency Council forms part of a wider $135 million EC investment to modernize Port Castries. President of the St. Lucia Craft and the Dry Goods Vendors Association, Peter Ras Iper Isaac, claims some vendors only recently received a notice to vacate the arcade by Friday, May 15th, leaving little time to prepare to relocate to a site that is still under construction.
In the initial consultation with GPH, St. Lucia Port, we were given the assurance that the Vendars arcade would not be demolished, this present one where.
Okay, so this is the president of the Vendors Association, and I have a lot of blows to give him, because what agreement did you sign on behalf of your members? It sounds like there was a word of mouth. Yeah, man, we're going to take care of y'all. We won't break it down. It's okay. Yeah, man, y'all be okay. We take care of y'all. Don't worry. And there's some drinks, a laugh, yeah, and then a pat on the back and move on. Where's the agreement? Did you guys sign agreements? Did you have a lawyer with you in negotiations on behalf of your organization? Folks, I'm trying to figure this out. I am trying to figure this out, and as Amanda reports, we'll continue to ask questions. What in the world is going on with the Vendors Association? Are you guys not together? Are you guys... Are you guys not an organization? Are you guys operating now like any other St. Lucian organization? Messed up? Broken? In confusion? What is going on? It's such an important industry. Well, you have individuals who have been vending for all their lives over there. What is going on, friends?
Until or unless they have completed the new Vendors arcade. But now what we are hearing is quite different. And in terms of the window, in terms of relocation, there is no relocation plan as far as we know. It's only about a week and a half to 2 weeks that vendors were told that they would demolish the Vendors arcade, and they would have to vacate the Vendors arcade with no relocation plan in place. Nothing to say you will be relocated here and there. The only option that was given is that you can go around town and see if there are any space, or there are spaces anywhere.
Now, if this is true, and one, I want to acknowledge that arcade needs to be broken down, break down, mash up. Period. All of us agree. Adios, move, gone, finish, mash up, fix up. Brand new, modern facility. We all agree. Yes, we agree. But based on what the president is saying here of the association, is that GPH and the government switch on them. That's what he's saying, because he's saying, look, that was not the agreement. The agreement was that they would not break down the old arcade until there is an alternative spot or a new spot where you can put the vendors to vend. But he's saying basically that we got notice to get out and we don't know where we're going. And by the way, they said to us, go around car streets and look for somewhere to vend. That sounds like total confusion in Castries based on what he's saying. And I would like to hear from the Minister of Housing, Mr. Frederick, on this, without all the drama and the name calling and all the thing, and, to address it in a professional, respectful manner, of course. I would love to know. There's 100 sides to one story now. Used to be 2. As the world turns, friends. So honestly, I would like to know if this is the case. If what Ras IPA is saying, that they were told to leave, they was not given enough sufficient notice, they were just told to get out, walk around car streets and see if you find somewhere, maybe in front of the police station or in front of the house. Sounds like confusion, right? Sounds like a deal went wrong or a deal gone bad. Or it sounds like there were no deal from the beginning. Or it sounds like there is some secret deal. And people are very careful, you know, if you listen in the whole discussion of this arcade thing, you know, people are very cautious in what they're saying. My question again is the president saying that this is a deal gone wrong by the government of St. Lucia, GPH, and the vendors? What's going on here?
Where you can occupy for the time being. There is nothing in place to say whether to give vendors some kind of support, you know, financial or otherwise, nothing like that.
So in other words, Ras IPA and his group negotiated with GPH and the government for nothing. There was no compensation or nothing in their negotiations. Or it means that the last meeting that he said they went to and were told they got to leave, even there was absolutely no negotiations. The president and his team did not stand up to say, well, Mr. GPH and government, we're not moving. We are not going to leave. You guys got to do better than this. You guys got to compensate us, our vendors, those who are in good and regular standing financially. Because it will not make sense to, the truth is, to compensate those who have not paid in 5 years. I mean, that might be a hard thing to do, but as a Christian, I would say, well, you still got to bear these people burden, of course. But in business, it would be, how can we give you compensation when you are not even paying what you're supposed to pay a month? Reverend, this thing is a whole set of confusion as we discuss it. Huh? So this question is, again, you guys went in to to an agreement, walked out with nothing. That's what you're saying to us. No compensation. You guys, not even a fourchette you guys walk out with, or a spoon? Nada? You went into 2 meetings with GPH. They give you a pat on the back, told you are part of our plan. You are very valuable to us. We love you again. The lips. Sweet nothing. And I would advise Mr. IPA and his group, the association, when you go to deal with giants like GPH and government, you always go with legal minds. And you always come out with a paper trail. Always come out with signed memorandum of understanding between both of you. So they went in to negotiate on behalf of the vendors and came out no compensation, no alternative vending area. And by the way, we're told, you guys on your own, go around the city and figure out somewhere. And by the way, when you figure it out, the possibility is there that one of our city police will come and repossess your items because you might be, peradventure, in a no vending zone. If what the president is saying is true, then all hell has broken loose in Castries. And IPA is making the government look bad. If what he's saying is not true, and still if what he's saying is true. Huh? Let's go back to the tape.
And no areas were designated for them to continue with to survive, to maintain their financial and other obligations.
Phase 1 of the project has already reportedly produced 44 new vending units at the old fire service headquarters site on Jeremy Street, where vendors are expected to be relocated before demolition of the existing arcade begins. However, Isaac says that these facilities are not ready to be occupied.
Initially, what I think they say they have 44 vending booths that is going to be prepared and be ready by the 15th of next month. If you go there, as you may see that all there is a kind of frame, but there is no walls yet and so on, and there is no lavatory facility or toilet facility yet. But some people are of the view that it may not be ready, but 44 vendors, they say, are the first 44 that will go into that place there. The other set of vendors, which is about maybe 70 or 75, they have the structure for them has not been built, and it may be completed within 6 months or more. And all that is based on the situation. And the reason why vendors were called to meetings to deal with the whole question of the relocation or for them to vacate the vendors arcade, they said because of time constraints. And time constraints meaning that they have very little time to complete the project, or they're probably behind in the whole completion of the project.
Folks, if I did not check myself and realize that I'm viewing DBS, then I would think I'm watching some Cartoon Network somewhere. Honestly, I would think that Mr. Outspoken Appa or IPA sounds like he's very calm about it. Oh, yes. And, well, they told us that, these facilities might not be ready. The first 44 new booths there. We have 75 more, but that nothing has been built as yet. There's not even a toilet over there. And maybe, I don't know, this 6 months or so, it's on the ground, reality, I don't know. And you have the president of the association in the same limbo as the members of his association. Just, I don't know, maybe. And maybe they are behind schedule. But this sounds to me that there is more in the mortar than on the pestle. I think the pestle is the long piece of heavy, long stick that you pong in the mortar. And in the mortar, you can have a whole lot of different stuff to pong. So maybe there is more in the mortar that maybe the president of the association, somebody's not telling us. But this government said that they're a caring government. and they understand the art of winning, and they put the people first, and they love the people of St. Lucia. Everything about this government is about the people. Our policies are people-centered. But something is wrong here. Something is bigly wrong based on what we're hearing. Something is bigly wrong. The president is saying basically that the government and GPH threw them under the bus. And they escalate the throwing under the bus because GPH might be behind on their agreement or on their on their construction, so they're behind. So we're giving you guys the boot. Find somewhere to go, but get out quickly. But APA, I don't know which government you support, but it doesn't sound like you are painting a good image of the government of St. Lucia at this point. Sound like a careless government, don't care about the people of St. Lucia, especially our vendors that we love, and kick them to the curve. No compensation. That's what is coming out of the discussion. What I would say to you is to tell us the full story. This cannot be the full story as far as I'm concerned. It cannot be. It cannot be, because the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Pear, I don't think that he would do something like that to allow the vendors to be kicked out. A matter of fact, the vendors have been kicked out. Huh? Oh, yeah, we told the vendors that they will be going into the new facility on Monday. What's wrong with them? The APA is not coming forward with the truth. I don't know what the drama is going to be, what is going to be said tomorrow, or on Friday, or Thursday, or Saturday, or Sunday. But it sounds like a lot of people are not sure about anything there. And by the way, my question is, who is responsible? Who is responsible for the Vendors Arcade, the demolition and construction of the Vendors Arcade? Who is responsible for it? And the other question is, what's going to be right in that spot there? What's going to be there? My question is it the responsibility of the Castries City Council to break down the property? Or is it the GPH people who are responsible? Who is it? Who is responsible for the cleaning up of the area and the construction of stuff over there? What part does the government, through the City Council of Castries, what is their role in the GPH development? Is it their role to demolish the structure, clean up the place? Is that expense on the government and people of St. Lucia? Or is it part of the $135 million deal with GPH? Now remember, the $135 million US, that is the deal that the government has with GPH. So my question is, what is the financial obligation of the government of St. Lucia and the people of St. Lucia through the City Council when it comes to the development at Port Castries, especially the Vendors Arcade? What was the deal? Was the deal that, okay, Mr. GPH, we will break down the structure, we will clean up the area, we will get the vendors out, we will be responsible to get the vendors out, we will be responsible to break down the place and clean up the spot. Our job is to demolish and to give you a clean spot. No vendors, no rats, no cockroach. And that's what the people were asking. What is the deal? What's in the deal? I don't know if you know what's in the deal. And I'm genuinely asking the question, what's in the deal, friends? I'm very neutral. I'm very balanced in my discussion and my concerns. At the same time, I am trying to balance this, having a having concerns for our vendors, and at the same time trying to figure out, get into the head of the government and the GPH deal, because none of us know what's in the deal. So again, I saw the housing minister maybe on Sunday, I think it was, at the arcade site while the guys are demolishing, and he said, oh yeah, by this weekend or by whatever it is this week, this whole thing will be flat. And he was greeting his workers. So I want to know, what is the cost to the government of St. Lucia, the city council, for the demolition of that property, the cleaning up of that property? Is it part of the $135 million deal? Or that is something separate? And these are the questions, these are genuine questions, of course. So if GPH is not responsible for demolition, and that is going to be an expense for the government of St. Lucia, and nobody saw it fit to add that to the GPH deal, you guys are responsible for the cleaning up, demolition, removing of all your garbage. And we are not going to spend a dime of our taxpayers' money to clean up so that you can bill, and then turn around for you to make much more of the monies. It's just a genuine question. And I hope you understand what I'm saying, my friends. I hope you understand my concerns and my questions for the vendors. And Appa should have been able to guide the people a little more. He should be able to sit down in an interview and let us know what in the world, what deal did you sign? How was the deal? What is this all about? And nobody here is anti-development. I honestly believe that the arcade should have been demolished a long time ago. Honestly, and there are many other buildings that should have been demolished. Two, these new plywood vending thing that was built should not have been built in the first place. We should have gone along with a overall development plan for the Castries Basin. And it should not be temporary, but permanent. If you understand what I'm saying. In keeping with us building a new city or upgrading the Castries capital. Which makes sense. As I said, I honestly believe that the Vendors Arcade should be gone. And most of you would agree with me, those of you who love your country and you want to see Castries looking like something you can be proud of. I am sure you do not want to see plywood structure in Castries. Is that true? I am sure many of you don't want to see anything plywood in Castries. You want to see permanent structures that can last, that is resilient, that can deal with the change in climate, that can deal with the environment, environmentally friendly, with solar panels and air. You would want to see that type of development in your country, not plywood. And that's why I disagree with the St. Lucia Labour Party and Mr. Frederick on having this temporary fix in our city. Go back to the drawing board and have a permanent fix for Castries. Get rid of all these plywoods. The other thing is back to the arcade. Let's listen to Ras Ipa. Is it Ras Ipa? Please guide me, folks.
Isaac says many vendors are worried about how they will pay bills, support families, and continue operating during the construction period. He says despite promises of a modern facility with improved layout and temporary measures to assist displaced vendors, concerns continue to mount among those who depend on the arcade for daily income. Additional concerns have also surfaced over reports that vendors with outstanding arrears may not qualify for spaces in the new facility, while others fear rental costs could increase once the project is completed.
There was also something that they said about moving vendors in phases, so that you, if they build 10 booths, 10 that has changed as well. There was also something we were discussing with GPH, the whole question of rent, and GPH was saying whether or not people have a res or not, there would be a place for them at the Vendars Arcade, the new Vendars Arcade. So we are hearing something different now, as if to say, well, and the other question is the question of a freeze on the increase in the rental.
Okay, so we're going to come back again. So he's saying that there's agreement for whether you owe in or not, that, well, I didn't hear agreement. That sounds like just talk. You know, you meet at an office with air conditioner, you just talk, and, you know, you say, yeah, we love you people of St. Lucia. We love your city. You have the most beautiful city in the world. We have never seen such a beautiful city. Oh, my God, we love it. And you vendors, we love you so much. You don't have to worry. And is that how we go into negotiations, with flattery and a whole lot of words from our lips and nothing on paper? Because if these agreements and discussions were on paper, GPH would not be able to do what they're doing right now. As a matter of fact, it sounds to me, if what Ras is saying, that GPH is taking advantage of the locals in St. Lucia, based on what the Vendars president is saying. And we would like to get more clarity from him, of course, because you do not want to portray the government as a non-caring government, as abusing the vendors in the city. I don't think anyone would want to do that, of course. So I would think that more clarity is needed. Is GPH, and this is the question, is GPH manhandling the citizens of St. Lucia by way of the vendors at the arcade? Because it sounds to me right now that's what it is. It sounds like that. Let's listen to Ras.
That you go into a new facility and they probably would be a 2-year freeze on increased rent. Well, what we have heard now is that rent, we must find out the cost of real estate around town. And
so based on what Ras is saying here, it sounds like a rude person is saying to them, you guys better go and check the price of real estate in the area here, and then you'll figure it out. This sounds like confusion. It sounds like you guys crazy. You guys want us to rent this thing for you for $100 and something. Go check the price of real estate around here. Go check and come back and tell us. Go. Sounds all right. That's how it sounds to me. That's how it's coming across. That's how it's coming across, folks. And that's why we got to take our time and listen to people. Listen to people. One, the government want to develop cash streets. I think they genuinely do want to develop cash streets. It needs to be developed. But I am also thinking that GPH is getting the opportunity or the green light from someone to manhandle the vendors. And to say to the vendors, go investigate, talk to a real estate broker, and let them tell you how much it's going to take. Come on, people. Say it ain't so. Now let's listen to Ras in his interview, all right? And then we'll listen to a vendor. Ras, go ahead.
Rumor have it that, the rent will be increased.
Tensions are also emerging within the St. Lucia Craft and Dry Goods Vendors Association as claims of division.
So he said, rumor has it. Why are we dealing with rumor if you're negotiating or you have an agreement with GPH? Why is rumor having it? Are we in a rumor society? Are we doing business by rumor now? Ras, this is not looking good for your organization. It's not looking good for the vendors. It's not looking good for our people, our solutions. That's not how we negotiate. That's not how it is done. If what you are saying is true, and you are not going to come out of this with clean hands because you are the president, you have a responsibility to protect the rights of those vendors. Don't come and say on social media or on the media that rumor has it. Who rumor? Who is rumoring? Is it the cockroaches, the rats in Castries? Who is doing the rumoring? Who is the rumor monger? We want facts. Did GPH say to you that they're going to increase? Did the minister, Mr. Frederick, says to you that they're going to increase? Did somebody in the organization or in the government told you that we're going to increase? And is there anything written? Is there real discussion with you guys? Because it sounds like you've been having a drink somewhere with these fellas, or some Kool-Aid and water and some wine somewhere with a pat on the back, because you're saying rumor has it. This is real, friends. We have real lives that are going to be uprooted. So they're saying about rumor has it.
And lack of unified consultation add to growing uncertainty surrounding the planned demolition and relocation of vendors from the Castries Vendors Arcade. DBS News World visited the arcade and observed several vendors packing up booths and removing merchandise ahead of the transition. Some vendors expressed uncertainty about where they will go next, noting that vending at the arcade has been their primary source of income for years.
I'm not disagree they send us home, but at least they should give us a little allowance for the 6 months they're sending us home, because we have our bills to pay, right? And I find that is not fair. Right, they should treat us better than that, right? And they don't even give us enough time to take out our things. That is not fair at all, and I don't.
So one of the vendors now is speaking, and she's basically saying, confirming, it seems like, that this is real, that 6 months we're going to be home. We don't know what's going to happen. We was not given enough time to... to get our stuff out. I don't understand, honestly. This sounds like a melee cochon. It sounds like burnt lentils and burnt white rice. It sounds like a mess. Like rotten eggs, everything, based on what you guys are saying. And this reflects you guys, because if you guys, and I do apologize if I'm sounding really harsh, but if you guys were minding your business, one, paying your rent, two, taking care of this discussion, having engagements, coming together as vendors and stop this fight. You guys were all fighting each other, separated and all, one in the corner there, one in another corner there. You guys, and something is wrong with our St. Lucian organizations, you know. When you see there's a power struggle, you know, it divides, it break up, it mash up. And if I don't get a position, I'm burning down the whole association, the whole business, the whole thing. And that's the mentality of our people. And that's why I say to the Flabo, you guys are a little messed up yourself. Because when you win, it is we win. When you lose, it is the leader lose. It is this one lose. And not we lose together. You win together and you lose together. That has been a good sports player, a sportsman. When you lose together. When you win together. Not when I win, you there. When I lose, you not there. You all over the place, cussing me off, telling me off that the party not good, the party messed up. No, if you love your party enough, if you're serious, is that we won together and we lose together. And we will rebuild together. But this nastiness about, this not good, Flabo Fini. Oh, this one done. Oh, yeah, Flabo will never return. Oh, no. Man, this is carelessness. This is not you. You're just being, you. Lord, help me. It's reflected in all of our organizations, all the everywhere we find evolution, people. This is the same story. This is the same story, and I'm beginning to put the puzzle together. It's a mindset. It's a blighted mindset. When the Labour Party win, they win together. When they lose together. When the United Workers' Party win, they win together. When they lose together. But don't jump ship because you lose and point fingers. Is the captain? Is the boat? Is this one? No, we, all of us, lost. We didn't win. Folks, so let's get back to the Vendars, because this is just ridiculous. Honestly, this could be a mindset. This could be a blight on our people and their thinking, the mentality. If I don't get if the neighbor get upgrade their house to a concrete house from plywood, then the neighbor all of a sudden becomes your enemy because you're still in a plywood house. That's the mindset. The vendors should have been together. They should have been together, negotiating with lawyers, put their resources together and coming out with a good deal. Them vendors should be happy today. One, they should be happy that there are no more rats, no more cockroaches. That they're in a very healthy environment. They have nice toilets for women, toilet for men, maybe a little shower. They can store their goods without their security. Everything is nice, a modern place. Oh my God, look at this place. It's like Dubai. It's like Miami, of course. You guys should have come out with a powerful deal. One, you have your government standing with you. Because I heard the lady saying, my prime minister, I never stopped voting for you. You have your prime minister, your government, who you said is a government for the poor. You should have come out, not crying on social media right now or on the television. You guys should be saying, look, man, I'm packed already. We are looking forward to moving into our new facility. We got 6 months of benefits where we can just relax. We have been working all these years. Now we can just relax because we got a little $1,000, $3,000 to help us through the 6 months. We know we're coming back. We have an agreement. This thing is going to demolish. I'm so happy. All the leaks and the people volleying all my stuff. Cockroach la, do I get rid of the bagay? All will be well. You guys should be celebrating now and saying how great my government is. Oh, I'm so proud of the negotiations. We had the best lawyers and the best team on our side. No, Zolaka Hele. Your own president kadi mahava mutani yo dimwe that accordi yo kai increase rent la ek maha mutan se sabotan we maha kobetani me mutan that no rent la kai mute but se muna dinu kai ni pokite because no maha se sayodi because le nous parler c'est pas ça nous te dit that yo pa kai craser building la until yo fini l'autre côté a nous ni pour aller mahav ko have president like a parler and the lady now, oh, my prime minister, moi vote ba ou, moi toujours ka vote ba ou, prime minister moi content, ou c'est bobou, ou bel, just aider nous, dear bagay, didn't put bagay, just dear bagay, pour aider nous. That's not where you guys should be. You guys should not be here. And you understand what I'm saying? I'm being hard on you all because you solutions are too divided anywhere you go. Why should vendors be fighting each other in a critical time like this? Why would you guys be putting all kind of tea flare, tea bagay, tea bouteille from se gager, a bagay se muna yo ka wuze bagay kon just for the other one not to go buy, not to get something. You go and you spend all your rent money on Obia man. It's true, this is reality. This is what happens in our society. We bad mind. And because of our bad mind, we go nowhere. We get a plywood structure. We don't get what we truly deserve. Whole kono pa bon. Ex-gouvernement, se moun ka hempek zo, ka bamboozle zo, because you all are divided. And yes, I know. You I made a tea fleck, tea boutin, tea bagay, ek wouze bagay la, bop, chasse mouna, pousse mouna pa vananye. Ek zo pas a même paye rent zo. Huh? Don't come for me. This is the truth. We can't keep ourselves together as a people. We can achieve. The security guards in the country can come together and do much better. The police can come together and do much better. The nurses, the doctors, the water crisis, the people could have come together. The high gas price, the people could have come together and get the change and whatever they need. The medical, the hospitals and medications, the people could have come together and get what they truly deserve. Now look at what the vendors happening. Yola, somebody say buna di mwen, yo di mwen, says yo di mwen, mwen. Anyway. And West is right. They always depended on the government. Huh? And it's true. We have a rum culture in the country. People will spend all their money on rum. Guys, your rent is first, not rum, not Jabal and Obiaman. Your priorities is stink. It's messed up. And that's why you'll continue to wallow and ask government to do for you what you should be doing for yourself. Well, I think it's Kennedy, one of them here in the United States, says, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. For God's sake. So like I jiwe on a lot. They pass the Quem. Well, Pastor Quem is right here, and guess what? You there listening to rumors. Somebody say the rent might go up, and blah, blah, blah. Gossiping, mind your business. Look your business there right now. Whole cow more. Anyway, let the people finish their thing, and then we'll talk, of course.
Like that. I feel disappointed for all the years I've been here. You know what I mean? But in development, changes do come. But it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And I find what really happening, I think we as vendors, we are too divided. And that is what caused this whole thing, the way it's happening. I don't mind developing the place, because the world is developing different now. But the whole total issue is ourselves need to be blamed. We are too divided, we have no respect for one another. Everybody just cater for themselves. And with that now, everybody's going to pay the price.
Gouvernement para fait pièce pas ba nous notice assez parce que les moun ka louer en caille ou supposé bay moun nan 3 mois notice avant pour mettre le dehors. Nous aller en meeting mercredi, yo dit nous les 15 nous ni pour quitter ici à vendredi ka vini. Bon nous ni tout bay ça, les nous ka pas kom nous. Gouvernement pas ba nous $1. I
don't want to put our vendors on the spot, but why does the government have to give you $1? Why? The government said, your government said, right, that they put you first, that they have generated the environment for you guys to take off. They said that they have had record tourist visitors in the country. They said everything that they do is better than any other government, that no other government has done what they have done for the people. Why would you be now talking about the government, they're not giving us no money, and they're not doing that, they're not helping us, and blah, 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 blah. Brethren, I don't care whether you UW or SLP right now. This is just the reality, the truth. The people are too dependent on the government. And they're selling their soul during election times. They're giving up their rights. They're giving up what they truly deserve for a temporary $100 and $500. Listen to the vendors. The ideal thing to you as you vend, you know how the seasons are. The seasons are up, the seasons are down. You want to put $5, so when the season down, you can be up. Not down with the season, up with the season. Again, priorities. Everything is the government not giving me. I voted out government because they don't give me. And very soon, the vendors will turn on the SLP administration, who they support, many of them, Why? Because the government didn't give me $1. The government didn't do me. It's not about the overall nation development. Housing, hospital, the medical, the security of the country. It's all about individuals. What I can get in my pockety, a little one-time something. That's why, my friend, our nation, that's why we're all over the world, even in the diaspora, fighting at the St. Lucia House, fighting, making ourselves look like fools everywhere we go. Everywhere, even at the airport, to go through immigration, you always see a Lucian quarreling with the immigration officer. They go to a party, whole call your pambo, party afini. They go to church, twaka. Go to a funeral service, twaka. I was preaching a funeral service in Brooklyn. Some Lucians came in the funeral service. 3 of them start in the congregation in the funeral home with their nonsense. They don't know time and place. They don't know how to shut them out. And I had to call them out. Shut up, shut your mouth. Mind your business. Know your place. Know when to speak, when not to speak. There's a time and place where not everywhere you got to open your mouth when you see something and blah, 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 like some blah, blah, black sheep. Not everywhere you got to talk. Not every time you have to see something and open your mouth. You have to self-control. I am telling you, friends, we are messed up everywhere we go. We don't support each other's private business. You come to Brooklyn especially. There are a whole lot of businesses, Lucian businesses in Brooklyn. You know these people, the own Lucian people will fight among themselves, you know. There's a nice lady selling food in Brooklyn. I think it's Sylvia or whatever it is. Nice food, even though she's labor. You think these guys will say to, look, let me give Sylvia, they'll go to a Trinidadian and another person to do the business, then another woman, and you know what they do? They'll say, oh, she's too expensive in Makoto, yeah? Makoto vie, madam, sir. And not only that, you know, you spread rumor on her food. You undermine yourself. And no wonder you get what you deserve. You are stuck in the mud of nastiness and declassiness. Why are our people so blighted with their mentality? Look at the St. Lucia House. Chaos. A nice organization that can help to develop the people of New York. Turn into a fish, folks, I need to control myself. They turn the thing into some den of wolves and beasts and all kind of stories. Women turn into beasts and men turn into John Crows. You do not know how to pull yourself together. You do not know how to pull yourself. Lucians, you got to wake up and smell the coffee. Stop blaming governments now. Blame yourself. You have the power. You have what it takes to make you a better person. You have what it takes to develop your business. You have what it takes to extend your house. You have what it takes to expand your business. You have what it takes. You have it. It's within you. But everything for you guys is government. You want government money. Give me $5. You go during the election that you're taking $500 to vote against sometimes your own self. I met people who said, I waiting for them to come and give me my money. Hey, I voting for who give me my money? One girl, young girl, watching me and then return me, Garfield, well, ma'am, is who bring the money? I have children to feed. What about your health care? What about your streets? What about your roads? What about this? What about your education? And we got to speak the truth. You can say I'm cussing down Lucians. This is who you are right now. I look at the St. Lucia House, see these guys in the St. Lucia House. Their behavior in a foreign country. While talking about we have Pitos and our country is so nice and it's the best in the world and they fought for us and the French and the English, and that's what you guys are representing. That's how you represent your own country as an ambassador. By having by having police to be, or the security forces to take the prime minister out as though it's war that break out in Iraq? Huh? A little election process you have in Brooklyn. It's like, I've never seen any election go like this. Just a little $200 to manage, and a little house with 2 rooms to manage on a parking lot. A whole lot of drama. To sell 2 bakes is a whole lot of drama. And then you come for me, I'm not patriotic. Go back to your country. Folks, I am beyond myself here. But this is the reality of our people. I remember when I finished one of my pastoral degrees. Lucian's whispering, he don't have a degree. He's not a pastor. He's not this. He don't do that. He don't. And I'm like, well, what is that to you that I am not? Do you not want me to achieve? Do you not want me to be excelling in what I do? Don't you want to see my face on the newspaper as a proud national of St. Lucia with a St. Lucian passport? Do you not want to claim me as one of us? Are you not proud of me? Are you not proud of your brother and your sister when they achieve, when they get their doctorate, or the kids have achieved, or when they become a lawyer? Are you not proud of your people? Instead, you try to dig them into the nastiness. And I thought, well, what is this discussion? What is this about he's fake? And how is that to you? But I'm going to have a discussion on the St. Lucia House at some point, because somebody got to talk the truth about our people. Women cussing off each other, insulting each other online. Young women acting like, who are you? Who are we, friends? What have we become? What have we become? Do you not know what you're doing to your country? You said, oh, well, we speak about CIP, we're bringing down the country. Do you not know that your nasty attitude is sinking your own country? When people see you and you say, Lucia, they say, oh boy, here's another one, but yeah, don't make that one come in your house, oh. Some of these white people who we do our little babysitting and cleaning jobs, and it's a good job to have, right? You guys make good money. When them people listen to you and they see you, you know what they do? They call their friend and say, but yeah, that one is from St. Lucia. Don't bring them in your house. Oh my God, that one talk too much. Oh my God, that one in everybody's business. Don't bring them in your house. They're going to mash up your house. Oh God, don't bring them in. They're bad, they're bad, they're bad, they're bad. Don't bring that one in. Get anybody else. Not the Lucians. Them Lucian bad. Don't you know that's what's going to happen? When you don't represent your country on the job? When you don't represent your country in the church? When you don't represent your country at events? Don't you know when you stand up as a proud St. Lucian with your head up and you show restraint and respect and you have etiquette and decency? I stole at the airport, I think it's in Miami, and I saw 2 Lucians. 2 Lucians heading down to St. Lucia, you know. And if you see the drama, if you had a story on the airport in Miami, and I'm sitting there, it was during elections, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm ashamed. And they take off on the airline representative, and they're going on, and they carry on, and they're trying to bust the line, and they're trying to cut, oh my God. This is hard. You know what happened to me? And we go back to the vendors, you know, we go more coffee here. My daughter came home. No, I picked up my daughter from school yesterday, right? And as soon as she came into the car, she's like, Daddy, one of the students said that their father they normally see you on TV. So I said, are you serious? She said, yes. one of the boys told me that their dad normally have you on the television and he's watching you at nights. I'm like, oh my God. And he said, well, I watch too with my dad. And I'm like, that's why I keep saying, when we're on social media, we got to be careful, one. Because he could have embarrassed my daughter and say, your father is an idiot. He curses, he acts like a fool, he bullies, he's disrespectful. I could have embarrassed my daughter. So I'm like, I asked her, what did you say to him? She was like, I just like, oh, Yeah, my daughter's always like me. She's like, So what I'm saying is that you don't know who's watching you, when they're watching you, how they're watching you. And that could be your downfall in the future. But let we go on. And some of you doesn't be drunk, you know. Some of you does not be drunk. Some of you pretend like you're drunk. Some of you act. Some of you are just not. You're not acting a fool, you know. Some of you just are foolish in the way you deport yourself. You gotta be foolish to want to burn down the St. Lucia house at the when the Prime Minister was there, or when they were doing the elections. Why you want to burn it down? Why are you acting like that at the St. Lucia house? Why all of you fighting each other? Why? It's a reflection of the mentality of the people. And even though they have moved out for many years, it's in the blood. It's in the blood. And unless some of them are converted, then same old story. Anyway, let me move on.
The association president also highlighted the importance of St. Lucia's informal sector, citing figures from the Central Statistical Office indicating that informal businesses, including vendors, contributed roughly 8% to the country's nominal GDP. While construction on the first 44 booths continues, dozens of other vendors are still awaiting confirmation on where they will be accommodated in the coming months. Vendors are now calling on authorities for clearer communication, fair treatment, and the stronger support measures to ensure they are not left struggling during the transition. For the DBS News World, I am Amanda King.
Amanda, thank you so much, Amanda. But all I can tell you is that they're negotiating after the fact. I thought they were negotiating before. Why are you negotiating now? We told you all about GPH. We told you all, we asked for transparency with GPH. You know what you all told us? Shasna is the enemy of the state. He's a white man. This one is a voler. You're a passer. You're not from our country. Go back to your country. And that's what you were saying, some of you. I remember one of the vendors attacked me when I came down to St. Lucia. I went in the thing. They attacked me. I had to pull that vendor up, man. I had to put the brakes one time. Oops, pull up, man. You ain't know me like that. Pull up. Pull up, because what we do it for you. You had a song say, everything I do it for you. I do it for you. Anyway. What time is it? 9:51? 10 o'clock, I'm off. Because we have been speaking over the years on this. GPH, we spoke about GPH. Look, you guys are experiencing something there that's confusing even to me. It's confusing to me. And that's why I want the Housing Minister, Mr. Frederick, to speak in a way where both SLP and UWPs can sit down and they can understand what you're saying. Don't be bullying and threatening and all those things. Just speak the truth, speak the facts. Let's know that, look, we did meet with the vendors and this is what we told them. The vendors are not going to be on the street. They're not going to be home for 6 months. This is what we did for them. This is what we're doing for them. We told them, they knew all this. Just talk to us. But don't allow us to be turning off our television when you start, because you're either giving somebody mapui. It's either about Alan Chasney. Let's talk about real stuff. Real business. Well, not that Mr. Shasney is not real stuff. Of course, he's a real deal. He's a real deal. Of course he is, you know. But what I'm saying, let's have conversations. Let's stop backing at each other. Let's talk, man. We have real issues before us. But let's listen to one of the vendors. And this one is taken from Newspin. I think I got this from Newspin. Let me go over to the vendor. I think I got it.
Teresa speaking there. Whatever you have to do first, do it first, vendors, because vendors are waiting on you, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. I am there waiting for you. All my life I have given you all my vote. I never step down and go anywhere. So you come and see about us, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. It's time for you to talk about us. Say something for us, important for us. I don't have words to say again. It's crying. I don't have words to say. Because it's 40-something years we in the arcade from the time they open and we there.
The lady says she cried. Did you all hear that? Did she say she's crying? Somebody said I speak with a forked tongue. What is my tongue? You mind your business. And then the lady said that she's Did she say that she's crying? She want Philip J. Pierre, she vote for him all the time. Somebody said, well, remember Guy Joseph saying, you crying? You just had to cry. No, but I don't want her to cry. I want anybody to cry. Because it sounds to me that she is not confused, but she is like desperate right now. Is what are we going to do? And instead of her saying, well, Mr. Frederick, what are we going to do? She's saying, Mr. Prime Minister, what are we going to do? But the Prime Minister has a way when he gives you the responsibility, he's done. He's not like he say, look, I give the police what they need to do. I ain't getting involved in the police business. I give them what they want. Let them do their business. He gave Mr. Frederick the responsibility of housing. You guys elected Mr. Frederick as the representative, and he's doing what he was asked to do. As far as I'm concerned, the people voted for what they have, whatever, whether it's be good or bad, whatever experience they have, and now the people voted for this. The people said, look, we want the Labour Party government and their policies. We love it. That's what we want. And I don't think anybody should be fighting our vendors or fighting anyone who voted for the St. Lucia Labour Party. The only thing with this is that elections do have consequences, and political parties have their policies and their way of operation. The United Workers' Party might have acted differently. The Labour Party is acting the way that they want to act. That's just the democracy of the country. You understand me? So if the lady says she's crying and she's always voted, well, she voted to cry. If something good happened to her, then she voted for that something good. So the people, again, the people have spoken. And the Labour Party made it clear to us on December 1st that the people voted for them, not us. So we need to chill out. And yes, we need to show sympathy, but we got to chill out and let the people deal. Philip J. Pierre is going to come around. He's going to talk to her. Somebody's going to get the message to Mr. Pierre. Look, the lady is saying you need to step in, you need to help. But the government is a government that was voted for by the people. Why am I going to fight? I'm just talking here because I'm trying to highlight, I have a platform. We're trying to highlight some of these concerns and issues that need to be addressed, of course. But let's see how it's going to be addressed. Huh? Let's finish the lady. The lady speak.
That's all I have to say. And love you, Philip J. Pierre, and come and see about us. I am pleading for my Prime Minister, Mr. J. Philip Pierre. This is Teresa speaking there. Whatever you have to do first, do it first, vendors, because vendors are waiting on you, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. I am there waiting for you. All my life I have given you all my vote. I never step down and go anywhere. So you come and see about us, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. It's time for you to talk about us. Say something for us, important for us. I don't have words to say again. It's crying. I don't have words to say. Because it's 40-something years we in the arcade from the time they open and we there. And then today they throw us out. That's all I have to say. And love you, Philip J. Pierre, and come and see about us.
I'm confused. Honestly, I'm confused. The lady said another thing, that I'm confused. She said she's always voted for Mr. Pear, and she said she waited for Pear to do something. The vendors are waiting. She said, I can't do nothing again. I'm crying. I'm just crying. So we're waiting for you, Pear. Do something for us, please. And then she said, I love you. And she said something else. Let's listen again. Play it again.
Minister, Mr. J. Philip Pierre, this is Teresa speaking there. Whatever you have to do for us, do it for us, vendors, because vendors are waiting on you, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. I am there waiting for you. All my life I have given you all my vote. I never step down and go anywhere. So you come and see about us, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. It's time for you to talk about us. Say something for us, important for us. I don't have words to say again. It's crying. I don't have words to say. Because it's 40-something years we in the arcade from the time they open and we're there. And then today they throw us out. That's all I have to say. And love you, Philip JP, and come and see about us.
So she said that they throw her out. She said, you listen, she said, I voted all the time for you. Come and see us. We're waiting for you. I can't say anything anymore. I'm crying. We're crying. Y'all kick us out. We love you, Mr. Pear. Come and see us. Come and take care of us. Y'all kick us out. Come and see us. That should not be the discussion you're having now, ma'am. Your discussion should be as a unit, as a group. How can we better the situation? How can we collate together, come together as one voice? Not one person saying, I crying, they kick us out, we love you, Mr. Pear, come and take care of us, I always vote for you, Ollie, come. That's not how you negotiate. That right there is weakness. That is weakness in negotiations. Your president and you guys, he should have already pulled an emergency meeting with all of you. You guys should be saying to your president, this is what we really want at this time. We want to have a controlled presence on the media, but this is what we want to do. We want, one, to get the assurance that we're going to be getting a spot. Two, we want to know that for the 6 months, if it is true for the 6 months that we're going to be out, that at least we can get something, to keep us until the 6 months. It don't have to be anything big, but at least something. Three, we understand that we need the development. It's important to clean up the city, and it's all in developing the country. Nobody is against development. Yeah? But we want also to let the authorities know, whoever is in authority, whoever is responsible for this, that we are not happy, we are not pleased with what has happened to us. Late notice, we were thrown out, we were given short notice. There's confusion with the future, with our future as vendors. We need some clarity in it. We need some assurance. That should be the discussion. Not I vote for you and this and that. No. And that's why Richard said, don't tell me you vote for me. That's what we're pulling our politicians for true. I vote for you, boss. And that's why they're coming back next year, They're coming back through the elections to say, who you voting for? I voting for you, boss. Because we make them feel like they're the boss. We make them feel like they have the power. The power is with you, the people. It has always been with you, the people. But you surrender your power to politicians by saying, we love you, boss. While you use, in the same breath, you're saying they kick us out, and then, we love you, talk, come do something for us now, talk for us now. I sympathize with our vendors, but this is a lesson for all our people. Unity is strength. You are better together. You are stronger together as a people. And you can get whatever you want in your society done. But you got to come together as a voice, as one people. It happened with Martin and those guys. They had to come together to fight racism. They had to come together to resist. They had to they stood up. They had to stand together as one. And when the tear gas came, and the abuse from the police came, they all stood together and they were willing to go down together. But it's not one sending out a lifeline for themselves and everybody else wear pukau. Although she said the vendors are waiting. But very sad, my friends. And I sympathize truly with our vendors. Let me play something for y'all before I go. I know y'all like to be here, but there's a fresh look to the United Workers' Party. This young lady was very professional today, I must say. The press conference, you know, felt a little different. A lot of work needed, but that improvement was okay. But we have a press release, date 15/05/2026. Today is the 19th, and that was released on the 15th. Press release, UWP appoints National Convention Committee as part of continuing organizational strengthening. United Workers' Party continued to advance its program of organizational strengthening, mobilization, and national engagement, aimed at positioning the party as the preferred political choice for the people of St. Lucia. As part of this process, the National Executive has officially appointed the National Convention Committee in preparation for the party's upcoming convention, the date of which will be announced in due course. The committee is chaired by the former government minister and former party chairman, Mr. Ezekiel Joseph. The National Executive expresses confidence in the committee's ability to oversee a credible, transparent, and successful convention process. Further details regarding the convention and related activities will be communicated at the appropriate time as the party continues to pursue its vision and effective representation, national development, and service to the people of St. Lucia. End. Contact Leonard Spiderman-Toot, Public Relations Officer, and Dominic Fede, Deputy Political Leader of the United Workers' Party. And that was from the United Workers' Party. All right? Good. So, folks, I'm going to read some of your comments, and then we're going to close the show, all right? I had some more stuff there from GPH and other things, but I think I'll rest it there because the fact is our vendors are concerned. There seems to be uncertainty for them, but also we need to get clarity from government, from the official government of St. Lucia, and maybe a statement from GPH on this. GPH also got to assure the public, the people of St. Lucia, that these vendors will be taken care of. They are being taken care of. That's what needs to be done. And some people say, well, why are you petitioning on their behalf? But they're human beings, of course. They have families. They have mouths to feed. They have bills to pay. And you don't want to see people suffering because somebody didn't vote for your political party. I'm not going to subscribe to that. But I'm just calling it out as it is. And I try to be very balanced in the process, that our people need to transform their minds. Their minds need to be transformed. And I think our people need to read more of the book of Proverbs. That's a good book. The Bible also says if you lack wisdom, ask the Lord and he will grant it unto you. All right? So let's just read some of the statements and then we'll close the show. Pearl, beautiful lady, indeed. Well, I'm not looking at her beauty. I'm a married man. I'm looking at her professional, demeanor, how she present herself, because sometimes we look at pretty people and we look at people's feature and their color, and we don't look at what they're offering, what they can do, and that's why we fail a lot as a nation. And you said, let them cry. Cleo says, SLP has St. Lucia in trouble. State of decay. They were warned, never listened. I'm trying to read. We're not taking calls tonight, you know. I know the phone is ringing, but we're not taking calls. We're not taking calls tonight. Sorry, my friend. I have to go. I have some stuff. I have preparation. I haven't. This week is a very tight week for me. Next week also, and then I have preparation for Guyana. I have some field trip. I have some youth ministries in Connecticut. It's a whole lot of stuff, you know. So I hope you understand me tonight, folks. Westy Dwet says, ignorant people, Mr. Philip J. But Westy, you're an SLP supporter, and she is an SLP supporter, so that's not what you should be doing to her. You shouldn't be mocking her like that. You know, you should be sympathizing with her and trying to figure a way out for her. But you're mocking her. The vendor, your vendor, she said she voted all her life for your party, and now you're mocking her on the Caribbean American News. You know, you would expect one of our people to do that, but you're doing it. And you need to be a shoulder for her to lean on. You had a song say, lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be a friend. I'll help you carry on. Damn, it won't be long when I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. So Westy, you should be that somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. Yeah? That's what you should be doing, Mr. Westy. Shoulder to lean on. And if I was out of my mind, you know what I would be doing tonight? Just playing Guy Joseph. You cry? You just start crying, eh? I could have been doing that, but I'm not doing that because I understand, you know, that people are people. And people have choices. Yeah. I think I have enough for tonight. Wester says, Garfield, if I had my way, all them vendors would be out and start new lease, no less than $500. But Wester, we got to look at, and there's a lot of stuff that must be done before we can put a price on rent. If you're going to be having those same vendors, I'm not sure about this. If you're going to be having the same vendors, you want to do an analysis, you know, their monthly income, the potential income, you know, what they might be able to afford. If you're thinking about the people, putting the people first, you would want to look at that before you say it's going to be $500. No. If the people can only afford $200 and you give them a lease for $500, then you're going to come back again to say the same thing. I will expose you because you owe 5 years and you can't pay. That's what it's going to be again, the same circle. So we got to stop. And we got to make an assessment of each vendor's, their income. As a matter of fact, these vendors should be paying taxes, right? So you'll have an idea as to their income, their monthly income, so you can plan accordingly for them. Yeah? But I don't know what to say. Oh, there's a question here. But Garfield, why have we been hearing about St. Lucia Ports? Who is St. Lucia Ports? Where's GPH? Oh, that's a good question, Cleo. So we'll look into that. St. Lucia Ports should be GPH because the deal was between GPH, $138 million development. Cleo, that's a good one. I will have to look into that. Hey, Dr. Fletcher, good to see you. I didn't realize you were on. I didn't see my friend Ansel coming on. What happened to him tonight? Lincoln's a nice tie. Wise me. I have to go help the vendors cry. Oh, you're going to help them cry? There's a song that says, don't cry for me, Argentina. So let's hope all the best, folks. I got to go. Blessings to you. Remember, this has been another Caribbean American News Media Platform. The news that you always report. All right? Be good to yourself, friends. Remember, bind together. You're stronger together. All right? You're stronger together, I'm telling you, especially in negotiations. Don't do it by yourself. And by the way, I have we have just a show advertisement. We have I have a debate with Anson on CIP. Remember, he challenged me. So I'm taking him on tete-a-tete. I'm going to have a perspective from Labour Party, of course, and UWP. So that's going to be interesting. Lemmer Fidniek Anson, Paddy Modisa, Lemmer Fidniek Anson. More mem. Ikai shot in there, my God, today. So, power cow. Watch this space, friends. Be good to each other, all right? Stop cussing each other off. You know, we're supposed to be a godly society. Blessings. Remember to pray before you go to bed.
American News Media. Let's get to work.
I'm here to help.
Welcome to